Today we're working on the window operator for the door, and on this door here, because it had power windows, there was 3 bolts, one here, and one here. And these are the 3 bolts, one here, here, and here, with our electronic operator. So you'll take those 3 bolts out to remove this one, but an old one, there'll be rivets and they won't be bolts, and they'll be here, 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 and here. So you'll have to use a grinder or a chisel to remove those rivets, and then once you've done that, you can get it out of the door. Here's the window operator removed out of the truck, and these are where the rivets were: here, 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 and here. So what I've done is I've removed those rivets, and then I've tacked nuts on the back side so that this can be removed and assembled again. Also, this portion here, there would have been 4 rivets here all the way around, and I've removed those rivets and I've put in Robinson screws and tack the nuts down, so then this portion can be disassembled and repaired as well. And lastly, this would have been just kind of welded on to this plate, so I ground that down and I removed it so that this pin inside here could be pressed out and serviced. With the assembly all complete here, you'll use the handle and you will operate the window. So what I did was I center drilled this pin, and then I put this bolt in here to hold it with the washer before it was welded on. With that bolt removed here, you can see the pin that's inside, and it's got the 2 flats, and that's what holds it static there while you're tightening up your bolt. So what you would do now that you've removed your bolt and washer, then you can pound that pin down. But before you do that, you'll need to disassemble this spring on the other side. This is that pin that we took the bolt out of, and this is our spring here. And when you're operating the mechanism, this is keeping tension on this arm, I guess, as you're using it. So all you need is a pair of vice grips here. You'll grab it, and then you'll remove it from this catch, this pin, and then this will slide right off. We use the vice grips here to remove it from the catch, and now that'll just pull right off of there. And then we flip it around, and we're going to pound that pin out this way, because there's a shoulder here that seats it. Now we remove that pin that was in there. We just tapped her down, and you can see those are the 2 flats that hold it in there. And then here's our bolt that we use to tighten that on. And on this end here is where our spring is held in place on the opposite side. Now that you have that removed, all you have to do is just take this plate and you're going to push it out to disengage it from the teeth here. This is basically kind of like our pinion, and then it engages into these teeth here. So we're going to pull that off of there. I'm going to pull it out this way, and if you can see inside, there is our pinion that's engaging with these teeth. That's what's operating it. What I did was I also built this washer, this kind of shim, and it goes in between this plate here and this plate here. So that's just going to ride in between. And the only reason that I did this was to kind of tighten up all the parts, because they're kind of loose. So I just put that in there to tighten it up, so when you're operating your window, it's going to be nice and smooth and tight. Now I remove my screws that I put in there, and that's going to hold that cover on the other side. And here too you also see the nuts that I tacked down. That's going to hold this onto the door. So with those removed, we just flip it over, and now we can see our pinion. And I also put a copper washer in there again to tighten it up, take up the slack and the wear that was in it. And so this assembly will just sit down in there, and then it's screwed in from the other side, held in place with these nuts that I've tacked on. This assembly here, this pops out, and there's a spring in here. It's got a catch on either end. So basically that just, you can see from here where that'll just slide in to those catches. And what that's doing, that spring, is just the tension when you're operating the mechanism here. So I made these modifications now so this thing can be all tore apart, serviced, and put back in if ever you need to do that.